See, I actually asked you this question before,
Yes.
and like with certain amount of uh, experience or like understanding uh, from the point of observation, and I can really see that the me, what we call, it's basically nothing but uh, a part of certain set of habits, and it's more of an idea. So that's like it's pretty clear to me. Like I can experientially feel that that's the way basically how it is going. And now, I mean, I get bothered because I read a book, and there's something else which came up in this book, and I'm not able to correlate these two things. I mean, like there is no obligation that I need to really correlate this all these philosophies, but there is something in there in that book. So that's exactly that was bothering me.
Yeah.
One of the things which they say is like it's about the. I mean, it seems we have the power basically to decide that whether I can be happy or I can be unhappy. So that goes against the the basic theme of like the doership. I mean not against, but it is for the doership. So like I am not able to correlate, and the person who has written the book, in fact I also cannot discard that person. So that type of things basically is bothering me a lot. So if
Yeah.
you could like please throw some light on that.
Yeah, sure. Can I just ask, like, why does it bother you? Like, what bothers you about
Uh,
it?
Yeah, because see, I am pretty clear. I am pretty clear. It's not intellectually, but experientially, I am very clear that what I call as me is like it's a certain set of ideas and beliefs. It's
Yeah.
more of an idea. Like I can clearly feel the whole thing. But in fact, in the book, it says that uh, it seems we have the power. I mean, when he says we, really don't know which we he is referring to,
Yeah.
but I guess like he's talking about the small we. I guess so.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that it seems we have the power basically to decide whether we can be happy or we can be unhappy. It seems the control is in our hand. The handle
Yeah.
is here. Now that goes against the the basic theme of how the life works. So I am not able to correlate. Like, is there a context on which this guy is talking about? Do you think so? I mean, I am, because unless like why it's bothering me, it's more like I am thinking that I am more into a state of hallucination and that guy is talking sense.
Um, to me, I can like for me, like you don't have to answer this now. This is something you can watch back afterwards, this stream, and you can like ask yourself these questions and see how it makes you feel. Is it doesn't matter what anyone else says. What you begin to get to is seeing this all for yourself, even though there is no you that sees it, but like a deep understanding of this beyond what other people say. So when that does bother you, what other people say, it tends to be that there's an emotional reaction appearing in the body. So there is a doubt or an insecurity. And to me, rather than trying to find the intellectual answer on the surface, which you can do, like you phoned in, you can ask me about it, and you can like think about the intellectual answer. But the other thing that I would do is also look at the emotion of doubt or insecurity that comes up when you hear something like that, and see that all emotions, all thoughts are illusions, and who you are is beyond that. Who you are is this presence that is still, that that has no thought, has no feeling, has no idea. It's just here experiencing itself. Like, and it doesn't really matter what you think in the end or what you feel in the end. It's beyond that. It's beyond thought and feeling. So it's okay to satisfy the intellect. I'm not saying don't do that, but it's also exploring what else is going on, that in you there might be an illusory emotion. It's often easy for us to see that thoughts are illusion, but when it comes to emotion, because it seems so interwoven with the sense of being and the consciousness, it feels like that emotion is who we are and there is no distance from it. So that's number one. That's what I would say. And then number two, like the second answer to it, is that what begins to happen, or began to happen in my mind and still happens over time as well as this body mind mechanism evolves, is that it becomes very fluid. And I can, in some way, I could understand what somebody means when they say it's your choice to be happy. And then, but I could equally understand someone saying it's not your choice to be happy. And then I could also understand somebody that says there is nobody that chooses to be happy or unhappy. And I could put it all into context inside my brain and be happy with all of those things that are being said. Because it does appear like it's your choice to be happy or not. So it does appear that you can make the choice to say, have a warm shower, like go out and have a warm shower. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not a good one. But you can have a choice to eat your dinner or cook your dinner with flavour or buy it from the shop so it's tasty. Or you can have the choice to not do that. Or you can have a choice to walk away from an argument or have a choice to stay there. It appears like you have the choice. On the ultimate level, we know there is no choice. But it appears like you have the choice. It appears like you have the choice to choose between a banana and an apple. But then on the deeper level, we know there's nobody actually choosing that. But in the moment, there appears to be a choice. And sometimes when you're speaking with people, like when I work with people, sometimes when I work with them, I have to try and get them to take responsibility for their life, even though there is no responsibility. But it's like you have to do things in steps. And if somebody on the human level is avoiding all responsibility, then them telling themselves there is nobody that's responsible, this isn't actually addressing the stuck emotion or the illusory thoughts there. It's actually avoiding them. So sometimes, like, I have to point to somebody that they have to take responsibility of their life, of their happiness, of their feelings, because otherwise they then never actually address them. But it doesn't mean there's somebody actually doing that. That's a description of what can happen. By me talking about it with them, it's a description of what can happen. It's not an actual prescription of what someone should or shouldn't do. So say, for example, like with Khaleesi, if I started going around and going, there is nobody that's responsible, and I took it really to the extreme, and Khaleesi wasn't being fed and being walked, this is my dog, this would be a delusion that's happening, and then I would need someone to come in and tell me to take responsibility for Khaleesi and point out the damage that I'm doing to her by not taking responsibility. But it doesn't mean that there is actually somebody in there that's responsible. It's like a robot. This information comes in and then there is a change that happens. So I can see it from all angles. I can see it as in it's your responsibility, your happiness. It's not your responsibility, your happiness. And then also there is nobody that is responsible for happiness or not happiness. It's the mind begins to become really flexible at seeing things from all different angles, because you begin to realize there is no truth in the mind. And what you're actually truly looking for, the freedom that you're looking for, is that which is watching, is that which is experiencing, is that which is the no thing and the everything, not a thing. How's that? I heard you try to speak there. How's that?
Yeah, this is excellent. In fact, if I could, if I really understood the whole thing, it's like it's a level of context. Like, in a smaller context, maybe the sense of doership might come in, and mind is okay, and mind is very happy to feel that, I am doing so many things. But on a larger context, on the ultimate context, this really doesn't matter. Everything is getting done. In fact, your answer is more of a validation to me. In fact, this is what had been going at the back of my mind. But, I was thinking whether I am going through some hallucination. Am I going nuts on that?
Yeah, and that's good. That's sometimes good to check in and just to see. And to clarify things.
And thank you very much, Lisa, for
pleasure.
Really satisfied with your answer.
Nice, lovely to speak to you again. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Sweet. I enjoyed answering that.